Alright, you lot. Treyarch just confirmed what every sweaty little aim-assist crybaby's been terrified to admit. Win-loss rate between controller and KBM in Call of Duty? Nearly dead even, 50-50. That's not a glitch, it's not an opinion, that's raw data from devs that you COD twonks seem to love and believe so much. Which means alt screeching, alt salt, alt Reddit paragraphs and influencer tantrums blaming aim assist for every death. It's pure fiction, skill issue, verified, stamped, logged. And now half at so-called PC Elite look like they've just been told their KD were fake all time. Cause it was. This ain't about inputs anymore. It's about egos. One of them just got sniped. And now we're digging rest of this lie out with controller-shaped crowbar. Strap in. So we have keyboard crusaders, clutching the mouse pads like rosaries and crying heresy. There's no way a controller beat me fair. Yeah? Tell that to Treyarch, sunshine. They've seen your losses. They've seen your excuses. They've got receipts. You're not elite, you're just loud. You built your identity around myth that mouse equals mastery, like it's some divine truth etched into your RGB rig. But now devs have pissed all over your scripture and said wins are even. Even! You're not gods. You're just gamers with expensive peripherals and very fragile pride. You flex your flick shots like a lad who's just discovered he can click heads in warm-up lobbies. You talk about precision like it's a personality trait, but second a controller player pushes you with actual timing, movement and confidence, you melt faster than your thermal paste. And now we know it's not just a one-off. It's half at bloody matches. You don't dominate, you don't outskill, you're just in a queue with players who know how to play better than you, and you can't handle that without a scapegoat. So what's play? Blame aim assist. Always aim assist. Never your positioning, never your tunnel vision, never your ego. Cause admitting you got dropped by a thumbstick is too much for your dopamine-addled pride to handle. But here's truth bomb. If aim assist were truly overpowered, if it were this monstrous cheat code you all pretend it is, data would show it. But it didn't. It's your parity, balance, and only imbalance left is in your sense of self-worth. Let's tear into mythical beast to call aim assist, shall we? Cause wait KBM lads whinge, you'd think it was Skynet in your pocket. Some laser-guided cheat system that locks heads, tracks spines, and whispers sweet headshots into your thumb while you sip tea. Reality? It's a nudge, friction drag, subtle magnetic pull that might help, or might throw your shot wide if enemy sneezes mid-slide cancel. It's not aimbot, it's not even reliable. It's a dodgy seatbelt in a burnout derby. You still have to move, you still have to track, you still have to fake chaos, while thumb flicking a stick smaller than a beer cap. And here's kicker, I've turned it off, I've played without it. Know what happens? You miss more. Not cause aim assist is powerful, but cause controller is a compromise to begin with. Assist tries to level that, and half the time, doesn't even help. It drags you into the wrong target, it slows you just enough to miss flick, and sometimes it gets you killed outright. But even with that half-baked helper dragging them off cliffs, Treyarch says they still match you lot win for win. Let that sink in. You've got pixel-perfect sensors, 240Hz monitors, adjustable DPI, macros up arse, and controller lads are still clapping you with one functional thumb and a vibration motor. If aim assist were doing all work, this wouldn't be 50-50. This would be domination. But it's not. So either the tactical gods, or you're full of shit. I know which one my money's on. Let's talk about control, not just input. Cause that's where all KBM ego starts falling apart like a 10 quid AliExpress mouse. You think precision is just about aiming? Wrong. Precision is movement, spacing, pressure, timing. And that's where controller players leave you looking like a fridge on rollerblades. While you're mashing WASD like a toddler in a piano, they're weaving through gunfire like a ballroom dancing in a minefield. You think you're crisp because you can flick. They're fluid because they never stop moving right. Thumbsticks aren't binary. They're pressure sensitive. They control speed, angle, momentum, all with one thumb. That's not chaos, it's flow, it's rhythm. It's not twitchy panic spasms on a keyboard. It's weight and timing and intent. And guess what? That matters. It wins fates. Treyarch's data just confirmed it. 50-50. So what hell are you even bragging about? You've got every mechanical legend book and still get rinsed by someone using analog sticks made of 15p plastic and hope. And teamwork. Don't make me laugh. Controller players play like squads, like units, covering each other, pushing smart, holding angles, while KBM lads are busy solo peeking corners trying to get the next TikTok clip. Bad squad's already flanked, fragged, and moved on. Your aim's sharp, sure, but your brain's running Windows ME. They don't need to click faster than you, they just need to move better. And they do, because they had to. Because when you're playing with a tool that were never designed for pinpoint, you get smarter, more efficient. And now you've got devs backing them up, saying they're matching you blow for blow. Control ain't about clicking heads, it's about owning fate. They own it. Let's hammer this and straight into your smug little skulls. Classic excuse, but I can't use controller. Oh really? You've got a 3,000 quid PC, dual monitors, LED strips lighting up your crusty sock drawer. But somehow a USB cable's too complicated. Piss off. Controller's right there. Plug it in, pick it up, try it. But you won't, because you don't want balance. You want superiority. You want your setup to be right way. And everything else? It's cheating. Broken. It's illegitimate. Bollocks. You don't want parity. You want to keep pretending that all your sweaty victories are a result of divine skill and not just gear advantage and a caffeine addiction. But now Treyarch have walked out and said thing you dread most. It's even. It's balanced. You've been matched. And suddenly your narrative collapsed like your performance when SBMM kicks in. It's truth you won't say out loud. You don't fear aim assist. You fear losing without an excuse. You fear being put on a level playing field and getting clapped anyway, cause then illusion dies. You'll have to admit controller lad outplayed you, that your perfect sensitivity, your cracked DPI shift, your 200 quid mouse didn't save you. You lost. And controller didn't cheat. It just won. You had option. You ignored it. Now you're getting flattened by it, and that's what's eating you alive. And now we spiral, don't we? Straight into skill denial vortex. Every match becomes a conspiracy. Every death a system failure. You lose a duel? Must be aim assist. You get caught reloading like a numpty in open space? Controller advantage. You get beamed mid-slide while your mic's muted and your squad's off eating glue? Input imbalance. It's never your fault. Never your brain. Always controller. Always thumbstick. It's exhausting. You're like a broken record wedged into a feedback loop of cope and delusion. You know what this is? It's not analysis, it's damage control. It's a propaganda campaign to protect your fragile ego from one horrifying truth. You're not as good as you thought. Night devs have confirmed it. Treyarch didn't just slap a stat on a forum post. They went full autopsy on this topic. Win-loss ratios, kill counts, input-based analytics. They saw it all. What did they find? Even, level, balanced. But you're still in your echo chamber, surrounded by other salt-stained keyboard prophets, all reinforced in the same gospel and nonsense. It's not aim assist that's broken, it's your sense of reality. You keep feeding this myth cause alternative means facing truth. You got beat by someone you called inferior, and it happened again, and again, and again. And you can't process that without rewriting world. So you rewrite it. You build excuses. You drag other idiots into spiral with you. It's not competitive insight, it's just cowardice with RGB. And here's where it mass fully slips. Moment your old facade crumbles into a pile of Twitch clips and discarded excuses. Cause if aim assist is truly the reason you're losing, if controller players are only winning cause there's some magical thumbstick buff, then you're not a pro. You're a glorified crash test dummy with a streaming overlay. You're not high skill, you're just high maintenance. And Treyarch just exposed you. Real pros don't fear input. They adapt, they learn system, they evolve. Controller players are such a threat, such a mechanical menace, then why aren't actual top level KBM players out here screaming into void about it? They're not, because they win by understanding game. Meanwhile, you'll lose and start foaming at mouth like someone just nerfed your aim trainer playlist. You know who's dominating on controller? Lads with awareness, with rotation discipline, with positioning. They're not spamming grenades and diving into every gunfight like it's a montage reel. They're thinking, they're winning. Despite the crutch, despite so-called advantage, they're wrestling with same unpredictable aim assist system that you claim is overpowered and still pulling wins because they've actually learned to play it with it and not complain about it. And here's Killshot. Every controller player you cry about, they had to adapt. They had to grind. They had to overcome a control scheme that were never designed for Twitch combat. They're not cheating, they're evolving. You're just still sat there crying into your mechanical keyboard like it owes you a win. Get real, get better, or get lost. And that's cold truth laid to bear. No more myths, no more excuses, just numbers. Treyarch didn't leave it up to speculation. They looked at millions of matches, millions of kills, millions of salty KBM tantrums. And what did they say? 50-50, win for win, kill for kill, controller and KBM on even ground. That's not opinion, that's a fucking obituary. For every twonk still blaming thumbsticks like the dark magic. You've had every edge, every sensor, every monitor, every overclock Twitch advantage money can buy, and still, controller players are running you down. Not because they're aim assist, because they're better than you. Because they've learned how to fake with friction, with flow, with instinct, while you're still flicking like a methed up mosquito trying to make highlight reel. You built a religion around the idea that input equals dominance, that your gear made you superior, and now that it's been disproved, you're having a full-blown theological crisis. It's beautiful. Every L you blamed on controller is now officially your own, certified, authenticated, statistically proven. You weren't outgunned by tech, you were outgunned by talent. And that, my friend, is game over. Smash like it, subscribe, drop your comments and questions below, especially if you're still using WASD and excuses. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.